I'm going to tell you a story, my story, and it's all about dreams, love, and one heck of a roller coaster ride with my mother-in-law. My name's Emma, and I'm a hairstylist. Been one for about 6 years now. I love what I do, shaping, cutting, and coloring. It's like every head is a canvas, and I'm the artist. But my dream? That's to own a beauty salon. Not just any salon, though. I want a place where people come not just to look good but to feel good too. I met Tom at a friend's party. He was different, kind, funny, and had this calm about him that just drew me in. He's 10 years older, works at a bank, and, honestly, he's been my rock since day one. We hit it off, but took our sweet time getting serious. Marriage wasn't a race for us, it was more about enjoying the journey together. Before we tied the knot, I got to meet his parents. His dad was a gem, easy to talk to, and always had interesting stories. But his mom, Linda? That's a whole different story. From the get-go, I could tell she wasn't keen on me. I tried, though, really tried to get on her good side. One day, after a particularly long day at the salon, I came home to Tom. I needed to vent, and he was always my sounding board. Tom, your mom's driving me nuts. Every visit turns into a lecture on how I'm supposedly neglecting you for my career. Tom, bless him, took my hand and said, Emma, love, I've told her to cut it out. You and your dreams are just as important as anything else. If she can't see that, it's her problem, not ours. His words were a bomb, but it didn't change the fact that Linda was relentless. It was like she had a playbook on how to be the mother-in-law from hell. But here's the thing, I wasn't about to let her dictate how I live my life or how Tom and I run our future marriage. This was our journey, and I was determined to make my dream a reality, Linda's approval or not. The salon was busy one afternoon, the buzz of dryers and chatter filling the air, when my phone buzzed. It was Tom. Hey, babe, how's the day going? Swamped. You know how it is before the weekend. What's up? Just checking in. Mom called again. Wants us over for dinner this Sunday. I sighed, already dreading it. Can't wait, I replied, the sarcasm heavy in my voice. Tom chuckled. Hang in there. It's just a dinner. And who knows? Maybe this time will be different. Yeah, and maybe I'll become a blonde overnight, I quipped. We both laughed, but deep down, I knew what I was up against. Linda had made it clear she wasn't my biggest fan. But this was my life, and I was not about to let anyone, not even my future mother-in-law, stand in the way of my dreams. Our wedding day was something out of a fairy tale, minus the magic and with a touch of real-life drama, courtesy of Linda, my mother-in-law. Tom and I decided on a simple ceremony. Nothing too fancy, just close friends and family, good food, and great music. We wanted it to be a celebration of us, our love, and the life we were about to start together. In the weeks leading up to the wedding, the stress was real. Between dress fittings, menu tastings, and making sure everything was just perfect, I barely had time to breathe. Tom was a rock, dealing with most of the logistics and doing his best to keep me sane. One evening, we were finalizing the guest list when Linda called. Tom answered, and I could tell by the way his face dropped that the conversation was going south fast. Yeah, Mom, Emma's here. We're just going over the guest list. What's up? Tom's tone was patient, but I saw his jaw clench. Linda's voice was a tinny squawk from the phone. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone was unmistakable. Tom sighed, rubbing his forehead. Mom, we've talked about this. Emma's friends are her choice. Yes, even Jessie. No, I don't think it's inappropriate. Look, we want everyone we love there, okay? I bit my lip, knowing Jessie's inclusion was a sticking point. Jessie had been my best friend since high school, known for her, let's say, colorful personality and even more colorful language. Linda had met her once and declared her unfit for polite company. Tom hung up, pinching the bridge of his nose. She's on about Jessie again. thinks it'll be a disaster to have her at the wedding. I rolled my eyes. Because Jesse's going to start a mosh pit during the vows, right? Tom cracked a smile. You know, that might liven things up a bit. The wedding day arrived, and it was beautiful. The ceremony went off without a hitch. Jessie behaved herself, mostly, and everyone had a blast. But at the reception, Linda couldn't resist stirring the pot. She cornered me while Tom was off greeting relatives. Emma, dear, I must say, everything is quite nice. Though I'm surprised you went with such an eclectic mix of guests. I forced a smile, trying to keep the peace. We wanted everyone important to us here, Linda. It means a lot that they could all come. Linda hummed, eyeing Jessie, who was tearing up the dance floor. Yes, well, I suppose it's too late to change anything now. Just remember, dear, you're a part of our family now. It's important to maintain a certain standard. The warning was clear, and I nodded, excusing myself as politely as I could. Tom found me a few moments later, his brow furrowed. Everything okay? You look like you just went 10 rounds with a blender. I sighed, leaning into his side. Your mom. She's just a lot. Tom kissed the top of my head, wrapping an arm around my waist. I know. But hey, we're married now. It's you and me against the world, remember? I smiled, the tension easing a bit. Yeah. You and me. The rest of the night went smoothly, and despite Linda's best efforts, nothing could dampen our spirits. We danced, laughed, and celebrated our love surrounded by those who mattered most. A couple of months into our marriage, I figured it was time to extend an olive branch to Linda. Despite the wedding drama, I wanted to make peace, or at least try. I decided to bake a pie, apple, Linda's favorite, or so Tom claimed. I'm no chef, but I can follow a recipe like a champ when I put my mind to it. The kitchen was a disaster by the time I finished, flour everywhere, apple peels on the floor, but the pie? It looked pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Tom wandered in, eyebrows raised at the mess. Babe, did a flour bomb go off in here? I laughed, wiping my hands on a dish towel. Very funny. I made a pie for your mom. Thought it might be nice to, try to get on her good side. Tom looked surprised, then touched. Emma, that's really nice of you. But are you sure? She can be, well, I shrugged, a bit nervous, but determined. Yeah, I know. But I gotta try, right? So, we set off to Linda's with the pie in tow. I was anxious, rehearsing what to say in my head. We rang the doorbell, and Linda answered, her expression neutral until she saw the pie. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Emma, Tom, what a surprise. And what's this? I held out the pie, trying to sound confident. I made you a pie, Linda. Apple, your favorite. We sat in the living room, the pie on the coffee table between us, an unspoken battleground. Linda finally spoke, her voice cool. It was very thoughtful of you, Emma. I must say, I'm surprised. You finding the time to bake, what with all your work. Her tone had that familiar sting, but I was determined to keep things light. Yeah, well, I wanted to do something nice. Thought it might be a good way to, spend some time together. Linda nodded, but there was a skepticism in her eyes that made my stomach twist. She excused herself to get plates and came back with a knife. She cut into the pie and paused. Then, without a word, she scooped up the pie and dumped it in the trash. My mouth fell open, shock and anger battling for dominance. Tom stood up, his voice tight. Mom, what the hell? Linda faced us, her expression cold. That pie was spoiled. I could smell it. We don't eat spoiled food in this house. I was speechless, the effort and hope I'd put into that pie trashed in seconds. Tom was furious, his usual calm demeanor gone. Emma made that for you. At least you could have pretended to appreciate